Hello, and welcome to a session of Centennial College at the library. As we get started, I'd like to introduce you to Scamp. Scamp is a Springer Spaniel who has, as you can see, a very important role to play. In this slide, Sir, the dog ate my assignment again. You may be thinking of this as kind of an excuse or perhaps something that never really does happen, but of course it does. If it happens to you, or if you think it might happen to you, keep that in mind for your next assignment. If you're just joining us, or if you'd like to follow along, you can do so at library.centennialcollege.ca. And if you'd like to access the resources of Centennial College Libraries, you can do so with your MyCentennial login credentials. We'll get to that in a minute. But for now, I'd also like to say a few words about the Learning Center, in other words, your source for quality tutoring. Let's have a look at where the Learning Center lies. From the library's homepage, library.centennialcollege.ca, the Learning Center is just a click away. You can access things like booking a tutor, learn about tutoring, access online learning strategies, and online math services. Now let's return to the library. Another service, a collaborative service of the library, is something called Ask On or Ask Ontario. It's a reference service in collaboration with other colleges in the province. It's available to you as students to get help with your assignments, ask reference questions, such as the one at the bottom of the screen. You could ask things like, "Dear library guy, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would?" And even if you don't ask this particular question, the service is available for you. As you can see again from the library's homepage, down in the bottom right-hand corner, click to chat. And now we're good to go. We could even begin like this. Dear library guy. You get the picture. Now let's move along. If you're wondering what we're doing here today, it's about introducing you to the collections of the library. Let's start with something like this. As you can see, this is the title page of a book, Success Through Diversity, Why the Most Inclusive Companies Will Win. Let's explore ways of finding this book. Since it is a book on our shelves, we can zip over to the library catalog. Here we go here. Success Through Diversity. And we'll give the database a hint as to what's going on and do a title search. Before we click search, perhaps you're wondering, why are we looking for print books when the library is not open? Well, the library is partially open. You can have a look at our grab and go service. While you might not be able to enter the library, our staff will get things for you. You can use our grab and go service to pick up or return items from our print collection. And here's where you can find out about it. From the library's homepage, we can scroll down a little, and here we go. We can learn all about our grab and go service. Now let's return to the catalog. Success Through Diversity. Here we go. As we open the title link, you'll notice the first information screen. The place on the shelf where the book lives, title, author information, publisher information, and of course the number of pages, if that's important to you. Information about this book carries on to the catalog record. One thing to note, at the bottom of your screen, the subject terms. Subjects such as diversity in the workplace, strategic planning, and leadership. Subject terms are another way to search. They help bring together several words that have the same meaning, and they can be applied across the whole collection in the same way. So if you are indeed looking for diversity in the workplace, the subject terms will gather together all the materials in the library that have something to say about diversity in the workplace. Such as this, Let Them See You, the guide for leveraging your diversity at work. As I mentioned, if you want to use the library's grab and go service, the place hold feature has been activated. So you can place a hold and go from there. Let's explore some other features of the catalog. One thing that's kind of fun to do is to scroll through the items you found till you hit something of interest. And of course, there's more than just one page of results. Let's go on to the next page. We'll have a look at the multicultural mind, unleashing the hidden force for innovation in your organization. Right away, you'll notice something different. The call number or the shelf position seems quite extraordinary. When the library is open, and if you look for XC, you will be disappointed. There is no XC. Instead, of course, this is one of our online books, part of our vast collection of online books, magazines, and journals. Let's open up the web link. As I was mentioning earlier, you will access our collections with your MyCentennial login credentials, as I am doing now. Cross our fingers and hope for the best. With many of our online books, there's a few options, reading online and downloading. Let's try reading online. An advantage, of course, is that you can search within the pages of the book. Let's choose a word, creativity. With our search word, the interface will take us through the pages of the book and disclose where all of our search terms occur. Let's have a look at part 1. Part 1, page 7. And you'll see that our search terms are highlighted so that we can easily read in context. For example, we have long known that intrinsic motivation, deep interest, involvement, curiosity, and enjoyment of the work itself is the most powerful driver of creativity. To To summarize, our catalog contains records for books on our shelves, as well as records for online books, which we are able to access through our MyCentennial login credentials. As we return to the catalog search interface, we'll do one more search before leaving. Let's try a straightforward keyword search: diversity and innovate. What this does is bring your own ideas together, and we can explore and see what turns up. There's a few things to consider, such as women, minorities, and other extraordinary people, the new path for workforce diversity. Once again, using our grab-and-go service, you could obtain this from the physical collection of the library. In summary, we were able to use the catalog to do a few things. We did title and author searching. We took advantage of the subject headings, such as diversity in the workplace, and we explored an example of an online book within our collection. Finally, we used the keyword search feature to bring together our own words and find things that made sense for us. Now let's move on. Of course, as you might expect, the library is more than just a shelf of books or a shelf of online books. Let's open up the library's online magazine and journal collections. This screen shows us an interface for such a collection. And if we imagine the screen opening and talking to us, saying things like, "Hey there, how's it going? Let me find that article for you," wouldn't the world be a much friendlier place? But unfortunately, all we get is an empty screen, staring, waiting for you to make the first move. Now let's make that first move. We'll return to the library's homepage and open up our online magazine and journal collections. There are several ways to get in. We'll try this way: e-resources, a fancy name for magazine and journal collections. Here is a handy alphabetical way to break into a collection. You can also enter the collection's name here. We'll try this one: Business Source Complete. Enter the name, click, and go. You'll notice that the service opened up right away. One of the handy features of logging in with your MyCentennial credentials is that once you're logged in, you can skip the login process if you're switching databases. It does it automatically. Let's try this. Our first maiden search in Business Source Complete: creating a culture where employees, people like you, speak up. Creating a culture where employees speak up. This just so happens to be, the title of an article. So once again, we'll give this collection a heads up and point it in the direction of the title. We'll open up the brief record. Here is a useful advantage to the library's online magazine and journal collections. Not only does it give you the article itself, which we'll open in a second, it also gives you information about the article, you have title, author, source information, and you have a handy abstract. Let's imagine this article is quite long. It only happens to be 3 pages, but if it was long and you didn't want to start reading right away, you could always read the abstract or the summary to get a sense of what it's about. Just as the catalog had subject terms, so too do our article collections. Subject terms, again, are a way to enhance your search, bring together ideas across the entire platform. Finally, in the information about the article section, you have all the information you need to create a reference entry in APA or another style of your choosing. And you can do so using this handy citation feature on the right-hand side. If we click the citation feature, we open up into a world of different citation styles, including APA. And of course, you can incorporate this information into your own work. Now let's have a look at the article itself. We'll open up the PDF. Here is the first page, creating a culture where employees speak up. If we glance at this first page, what's the thing that really stands out, that really catches our eye, that is important for us as a student? Is it the title? Is it the author? Is it this cute little mouse? My preference is for the mouse. But as a student, you might say to yourself, Harvard Business Review. That sounds important. This is an example of the library drawing together useful and meaningful resources, bringing together articles, journals, magazines from well-known and credited sources of information. As you can see, you have the complete text of the article in full color and full image format. You can do many things with it, such as download the article, print the article, read it on screen, email it to yourself, and so forth. Let's move back to the results list. And again, we'll have a look at the information about the article. As I mentioned, the article gives you access to subject terms similar to the library catalog. And once again, we can discover diversity in the workplace. Let's click on it and go. If you're wondering or feeling overwhelmed about the 9,000 results, here's something else you can do. Let's have a look at the advanced search features. If you are feeling overwhelmed about so many results, you can do what I like to call short article searching. Don't tell your professor. There's many things to explore on this page, but one of them, of course, happens to be the number of pages in a particular article. If you do something like this, we can narrow our search to articles with no more than 4 pages. Let's see how this adjustment affects our results. That's much better. And we can open up this second example. Are your D&I efforts helping employees feel like they belong? And once again, you get access to the complete text. Let's try something else. We'll refine our search and begin again. Just as we did keyword or descriptive word searching in the catalog, so too we can do the same in this online collection. Let's have a look at what the collection has to say about communicating in a crisis. And again, if 2,100 results seems daunting, we can always add words and phrases. Let's add CEO to our collection. CEO, Chief Executive Officer, how do they communicate in a crisis? Let's find out. Now our list has improved substantially. We've gone from over 2,000 to 75. And of course, as students of business, you often want to have a look at the things that are published most recently. So we'll change the way our list appears, and we'll go have a look at date newest. Now that we've reordered the list, we can scroll down and see if anything catches our eye. And of course, sometimes you want to jump ahead and have a look at more than one screen of results. We can continue to scroll, find things that are of interest to us, and open those. There's no harm in continuing either. Here's something that might be of interest. When crisis strikes, the clock can become your enemy. Or, more ominous, who should take the fall? You can also have a look at things like stepping back, understanding the value of patience during a crisis. I'll leave it to you to open that one. Let's review before we go on to something else. Even though the database won't find that article for you, it is a good place to start. As you can see, the library draws in quality materials from such places as Harvard and MIT. And things are mostly available in full text and full image format. Let's move on. Time now to switch collections. To do that, simply go back to the e-resources tab or our index page, and we'll enter another collection. Let's try something like this, career cruising. We'll move over to this collection. This is a great resource if you're exploring careers, exploring your interests, and want to see what the Canadian landscape looks like. We'll learn about careers here. While there's many things to do in this collection, we'll have a look at investment banking for fun. We'll see what investment bankers are up to. For each career included in this collection, you'll have access to information on job description, working conditions, earnings, education, a sample career path, related careers, and other resources. You even get access to interviews of individuals who are actually in these professions. As an illustration, Lori is an investment banker, and she has a lot to say. There are even audio-visual clips of advice, likes and dislikes. I'll leave you to watch the advice column from Lori, but suffices to say that you need to be prepared for a tremendous amount of work, no personal life, and an hourly basis of compensation that is close to minimum wage. Perhaps we'll try another profession. In the meantime, I'll leave it to you to have a look around. Let's have a look somewhere else. We'll return to the library's home screen. Before we do that, here is a small detail, a small sneak peek, or kind of a spoiler alert related to an assignment that's coming up. If you haven't already seen it, your professor wants you to find this article, "How Serious is Essay Plagiarism Anyways?" Here's the quickest way to find this article. Returning to the library's homepage, you can start right here. Search the library collections. Wait a second, it now appears that I'm doing your work for you. Yes, what was I thinking? I'll leave that for you to tackle. Keep in mind that this particular search box is different from the others. This one tries to look at many of our databases at once. So instead of going into individual collections, such as Business Source Complete, this search box takes you on a tour of about 2/3 of our databases at the same time. I'll leave it for you to try it out. As I wrap up, I just want to remind you again of the library's Ask On service. If you have time, and if you need assistance, you can always have a look at our chat reference and get help immediately. Of course, you're always free to contact me at rsims@centennialcollege.ca, and I'm here to help as well. Best of luck, and thank you for looking. Have a good day.